Driving me crazy just looking at it. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. It's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. It's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. World without you. Driving me crazy just looking at it. World without you. Driving me crazy just looking at it. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. Without you, driving me crazy just looking at it. Driving me crazy just looking at it. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. It's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. You do this thing when I'm talking to you. Like everything freezes and it's just too. You do this thing when I'm talking just too. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. It's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. Give it to me like world without you. Driving me crazy just looking at it. Without you, driving me crazy just looking at it. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. World without you, driving me crazy just looking at it. Driving me crazy just looking at it. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. It's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live without you.
Afternoon, everyone. No, not the best days out there, so I thought, you know what? Apart from going down the shop this morning, I'm going to stay in today and be warm. Terrible night's sleep. Getting up at 6:30 in the morning when I really don't have to. And it's always been dwelling on my head at the moment is what I've been doing, talking with other people and that. This game tomorrow. I must admit, confidence is not my strongest one with this one. I won't deny it. People will say I'm the more negative one. That's just by looking at form more than anything. Taking a few things more into consideration. The game is definitely more on them than it is on us. The pressure that is going to be on the Arsenal players and manager is going to be shocking. It's going to be their full season on the trot that they could basically bottle it and screw it right up. And the place they would not want to do it is at Tottenham. We all know that. The place we don't want them to do anything and get the 3 points is obviously at our ground as well. It's going to be shaky there, to say the least, on both sides. The other pressure they got on them as well, they still haven't quite won anything yet. The manager knows he's got to be on his last legs. Surely Arteta's got to be on his last legs. The amount of money he has spent, the amount of money he's had given to him, he's got all the players he wants. He's been so close. Yeah, what's the saying so far? Yeah. They are just going to have immense pressure on them in every way. And unless things go straight for them from the minute go, the further the game goes, I think the more they are going to struggle. Arsenal got a better team than us. No two ways about it. Anyone who sees it otherwise obviously sees football different to me. But nearly in every position, they are stronger than us. Nearly. But going back to this morning, being up so early, sitting down and have a cup of coffee, just thinking about the game, I just come up with this weird idea, and some people are just going to think this is crazy. So I'm going to need some people to tell me whether this is just a mad idea I've had here or not. How do we sort these? How do we sort them out? Because it is a North London derby. We all know anything can happen. If we play the way we played against Newcastle and the way we've played in late games lately, we're going to get our asses kicked, and that's an understatement. But you know what? If there's a game that Ange can prove himself, and there's a game that a few of these players can prove they've actually got a pair of balls on them, it's going to be this one. The rest of this season for me is done. It's dusted. Apart from this game, I really don't care if we make the Champions League, which I don't think we'll get there now. I'm not even bothered about the Europa Cup anymore, to tell the truth. I'm more looking on next season because I'm interested to see what our manager is capable of, who he wants to get in. Has he got the balls to really get rid of some of the players that you think he wouldn't? It's going to be interesting, to say the least. People seem to think that, pardon me, that I want Ange out. Not at all. It's just there is a lot of points you can pick on with him if you want to. I mean, you can't always just look on the positive side of life. Sometimes you just got to be realistic. And the man has made some mistakes, no two ways about it. But he's also made some solid decisions as well. And he's also proved that he's got the ball to take a player off the pitch. It's just who does he start with as more as he got the ball to do it? This game, I think the way we can really do these, they really haven't got no muscle in that side. They really haven't. I'd say about the only one of them who could probably give someone a go is Rice. And he's not the biggest fella either, but he's more than willing to get stuck in. That's one of the reasons why he's such a good player, in my opinion. But apart from that, they really haven't got any muscle. We have actually got a couple of players, and I do mean literally a couple, that could actually get stuck into a game quite nicely if they wanted to. Could really piss them off. Could really cause a bit of hassle out of it. So before I go into my crazy idea, it is a bit mad. So you're going to have to give me a bit of leeway on this one. I'm going to say hello to a few people on there. I know it's random as, same as I do most things. It's just it's been sitting here dwelling on me. No one's on. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to come on here and come up with this good idea that people like, or I'm going to come up with this idea that people just think I've lost the plot. Let's find out. Right, just say hello to a couple of people. OTC, no to Werner. Starboy Johnson as wingback. No, definitely not. But I would have him starting on the pitch. And Tom, big up Dan, big up chat, big up to you too, mate. Hope everything's good for you. Terry, big up to Dan, big up to you and all, mate. Hope all's good. Ben, how are we doing, my friend? Hope everything's all right for you. Watched the show this morning. Some solid points on there. Tell you what, mate. If you've got nothing to do, there's the link down there. And if any member wants to come on and speak their mind, tell me I'm crazy, feel free to come and do it. And there's my wife. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. And my little brother-in-law, Samuel. Good to you too, mate. Hope you're all right, even though you're only in the other room. Right, what's Anthony got to say? You got it wrong, Dan. We have two, Gabriel, yeah, and Declan Rice. That will give it to your players. Okay. Okay. No, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. That's fine by me. Don't worry, Dan. I lost the plot 28 years ago. Yeah. I think most of us lost the plot being a Spurs supporter, but there you go. And football and boxing. All I ask for tomorrow is to give everything. If they don't give that, I'll absolutely be fuming. Exactly, mate. That is what I want to see tomorrow. I want to see a team with a pair of balls on them that want to get stuck in, that give it their all. I want to see a manager that is willing to make a decision, that is willing to take a chance, because it's the game to do it. Everyone knows how important this game is. It's like a cup to both sides. No matter what Arsenal say, the game ain't that important to them and everything. Bollocks. We all know it is. And like I said, this would be the place they would really love to get 3 points that would lead them on to doing a title. This would be the place we don't want them to do it. And we would love to be the team that definitely screws it up for them. Are we capable of doing it? The way we've played lately? No. The way we can play? I don't see why not. Because do you know what? Even if we can squeeze a draw out of these, it's going to do them damage. Because City ain't going to slow down. They're only just starting now. And football and boxing, leave everything on the pitch. Totally agreed, mate. They got to give everything. Bring everything with them. Put the whole lot on the pitch. And Terry, Maddison needs to step up big time if we have any chance. That is part of where my crazy idea is going to come in. What Maddison is capable of, what Maddison can do, and we all know he can. But just lately, he really hasn't. Since he's come back from that problem, he's been a mess. He has been a mess. He's been all over the place. What's Terry saying here? Maddison needs to put in big performance, time to put on his big boy pants. Totally, mate. That's exactly what I'm saying. With football and boxing, I'll take a draw. I'll take a draw as well. Sadly, but yeah, I'll take a draw with this as well. And that's just going on form. Right. So, with this idea, all right, just to quickly put what Anthony's put here. Do I think Ange would change his tactics just for one game? No, I don't. He hasn't done nothing for me to believe that he would do that. Maybe next season we'll see a different side of it. Maybe next season we see a side where he does start throwing a few things around. Stick to his system. Stick to the way you do it. But again, it's the Premiership. Every team you play, you have got to have an idea of somewhere where you're going to have to adapt on that pitch. Whether it's going to be pace down the left, pace down the right, whether it's going to be a formidable centre mid they've got who loves putting the ball everywhere. There's always something you've got to adapt to, surely. Bloody liar. And you know what? Jackie has just said something here. Totally what was on the back of my mind when I thought of this. Last week, I thought Arsenal, or we, okay, got an Arsenal supporter there, looked tired. But after the Chelsea game, we looked great, and they've been better away anyway. Yeah, look, you've been great all season, pretty much. You've had your moments, but credit where it's due at the end of the day. Whether I like you or not you personally, but Arsenal or not, which obviously I don't. If you're good, you're good. You're bad, you're bad. And Arsenal have been pretty solid. I'd say they've played the best football in the Premiership this season, hands down. No one even close. Yes, City's had its moments, so's Liverpool and that, but Arsenal have been consistently good. Playing as a team, working as a team, passing fast. You can't take it away from them. I hate to sit here on my own channel and to big up Arsenal, but it is what it is at the end of the day. At the moment, they are good. So, my idea. Obviously, as we play a 4-3-3, we play with this inverted wingers crap. I don't like it. But again, each their own. I still feel we'd get the best out of Porro, playing him overlapping, getting him pumping the ball into the box. Seeing he's the only one we got who can do a solid cross. But we don't do that. So, my idea isn't with that. So we play, obviously, Vicario, we play our 4 at the back. We'll know who's in the middle. Van der Ven, Romero. On the right-hand side is going to be the tricky question. Is he going to be fit enough to play? But let's presume he is. Porro. On the left, stick whoever on there. Ben White, whether he puts Royale on the side. It's going to be one or the other. Ben White as an inverted wing-back? No, it does not work for me, and I very much doubt it works for anybody else on here. But who knows? Now, the way I'm going to go for this one, yeah, is use that bit of force we have got. Play with that defensive midfielder, but actually use him as a defensive midfielder. Stay there, be back up. The two defenders you meant to cover, come back when you have to. Do you know what? Don't even go past the halfway line. Stay there. Højbjerg. Now, I know a lot of people don't rate him. I don't think he's as bad as people say. I really don't. Yeah, his passing leaves a lot to be desired. But one thing he's willing to do more than ever is give it his 100% for every game he plays. Can't take that away from him. And he does get stuck into a game. Out the player. Keep him as that defensive midfielder. Let him be the anchor man. Have your two wing backs invert, do what they bloody want to do. But make it so we've basically got three at the back. As soon as they press forward on us, Højbjerg comes back, defend, and then the others run the mile back as well. Now, the two midfield, centre mid, Bentancur. Apart from Madison, I'd say he's the closest thing we got to a playmaker there. He's covered DM enough times. He used to play it, but also play playmaker style at Juventus, and he's good at it. But play him as more of a box-to-box man and use him for his passing as well. Keep him coming back and forth, going forward when needs be, but coming back to also cover Højbjerg when he comes back to cover the three at the back, so we'd still have a DM there. Now, this is where it's going to go a bit crazy. And a few people are probably going to think, yeah. I'd stick Kulusevski in the middle. 1 second. You all right, Ben, how we doing, mate?
I'm doing all right. It's a nice Saturday afternoon. Just got back from holiday. And now we're ready for a big one. Now we're ready for the big one.
Where did you go?
I went to Cornwall. So lovely Cornwall. Just
nice.
For a while.
Nice.
Get some food down myself because I need to gain some weight. And now we're back for the big one.
I mean, Cornwall, perfect place to go and chill out, isn't it?
Yeah, damn right.
Just forget about everything. Just go and chill out.
It's the prelude to my real holiday, which is in Milan in July.
Ooh,
so,
yes. Yes.
Going back to my spiritual home.
Mate, there's all I can say about that. I know it's going to sound cheesy as, mate, but beautiful place.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Right. I'll start from the beginning quickly just because you come on in.
Yeah.
Right. Carrera at the back, Van der Ven, Romero in the middle goes without saying, Porro on the right, and then, I don't care, stick Mickey Mouse on the left. Might as well. We got Ben Davies, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. My idea is we keep Højbjerg as the DM.
Mm-hmm.
He's the man that is willing to get stuck into a game, isn't he?
Yeah.
Stuck into a player. Because I reckon we can do these ones through force. Piss them off. Take them down when needs be. Obviously, don't get no stupid tackles, whatever. Use a bit of force on them. Because that's one thing Arsenal have never liked. That's why I used to love it when they used to play Bolton.
Yeah.
Because Bolton could not do them, come love nor money. But by the time Arsenal came off that pitch, win, lose or draw, they were hurt, weren't they?
Yeah.
Every time they played that lot, they came away.
Did the same to us, didn't they? Did the same to us.
Exactly. Now, I'm not asking no injuries, nothing like that. Yes, all right. If one of their players breaks his toe before the game, brilliant. But nothing serious. But Højbjerg, use him as the DM. Use him as the number 3 defender, basically. Don't go past the bloody halfway line. Just be the defensive midfielder. And then when the ball comes on us, he comes back in to basically make it free at the back. Bentancur in the middle, playing as the box-to-box, so he can also come back and then cover the DM when Højbjerg comes back to help them defence. This is where I go a bit crazy. Kulusevski in the middle. Reason I say put him in the middle, that man's got muscle on him. He's a lump. He's hard to get off the ball. And if anyone can play with a back to goal as well, he can do it. He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
So if we have Kulu in the middle and the ball's going forward, he can also help cover our midfield. He doesn't have to do the tackling. He just has to bloody fun.
Yeah.
He just has to annoy the player, put him off the ball, barge him off it if he has to. All right, if you give away a foul in the middle of the pitch, it's forgivable, isn't it? Yeah. But using going into a number 10, mixing with sort of like a target man and a false 9.
Yeah.
You know, have a crack at it if he sees it, but plays back to goal. Hold the ball for the people who come forward. Now, Johnson on the right, and people know Johnson is not my favourite one. But I say Johnson on the right because Arsenal's weakest spot is their left back, without a doubt.
We've had this conversation many a time.
You said it this morning, as well. Zinchenko is their weak spot. I've been telling them this for ages. They all claimed it wasn't, all my mates, and then they realised how crap he really was when Saliba got injured.
The moment Saliba went out of that team, he became suspect.
100%, yeah. Very good player at getting forward. No two ways about it. But one thing he's not is a left back, or barely even a wing back. If anything, he'd be better off up on the wing like Porro, in my opinion. Yeah. But either way, yeah. Johnson just running at him consistently is going to give him nightmares. Yeah. And especially seeing as he loves to get up the pitch. And I know Johnson isn't very good at it, but if he's got his balls on him, he can take a player on with pace, knock it past him and run. And with Højbjerg being halfway up the pitch, yo, mate, how we doing?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Senor Jose, senor.
Right, I'll carry on with this quickly. And with Johnson running up behind him, because we all know Zinchenko's going to be going up the other end of the pitch. Yeah. He does it every game without fail, yeah? Or they might play their other fella there. What's his name?
Kivior.
Yeah.
Tomiyasu.
Yeah. Either way, all of them I've noticed with Arsenal, their left backs like getting up the other end of the pitch. Whereas Ben White stays back a bit more, doesn't he, to bring it over to the free. But he does get forward as well, but he plays as more of a solid right back, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And got another bit. Come on then. There we go. All right, mate, how you doing? Let me just carry on with this. So with their left back coming up the pitch is definitely their weakest point for me, yeah? Johnson running up behind it. We all know Johnson isn't the best crosser of the ball, but he can drill it across, can't he? Yeah? He can give them hassle on that left-hand side. Now, on the left, I'm going to leave us a bit open because I'm going to leave someone there to just do what they want. Do what you want on the pitch. Maddison. Play him sort of inverted, cutting across, run behind where Kulusevski's holding the ball, so Kulusevski can just knock it to the side to him if needs be. We all know Maddison can shoot, he can pass, he can also cross the ball if needs be. I know he's not left-footed, but that's why I'm leaving him open to do as he pleases. At Leicester, he done that a few times. And nearly every time I've seen him play for England, where does he go? They always stick him on the top left, don't they? 9 times out of 10. Every time I've seen him.
Anyway, Dan. It's where he likes to go anyway. He likes to be on that left-hand side to cut in. It's what he likes to do, cut in and shoot.
Yeah.
You saw that against Burnley earlier in the season.
Yeah. So use him for his ability. Because they're going to have Rice sitting there in the middle. And I think Kulusevski's going to have more than enough muscle on him to have a row with Rice. Have Maddison just as total free roll. Do what you want, mate. Go over the pitch. Get your passing in there. Have a shot in there. We all know Maddison can drill across there or put a nice through ball in for Kulusevski to run onto or whoever I've got sitting in the middle. Now, here's the one where people are really going to say I've probably lost it. I wouldn't start Son. I'll start with Richarlison. I'll start with Richarlison because he will get stuck into a game more than Son because he's more capable of it physically. Son's the better player, hands down. Son's the better finisher, no two ways about it. But for the idea I've got here, it's going to be more of a drill it through and try and tap it in, basically. Now, if you put Richarlison there, you know what sort of player he is. Even though he's not the greatest, he gets stuck into any game. He does give it his all. And he's also got a bit of muscle on him to proper give Saliba and Gabriel a bit of hassle. And plus, Maddison can actually put in a decent ball in there that we can actually use into his ability to head the ball. Because we all know he can't kick it straight. He's as bad as Werner when it comes to that. Like, you find it hard to put it in from 2 yards in the bloody barn door sometimes, yeah? But he can definitely head that ball and he can definitely cause trouble on there.
Yeah. Well, you got to go by the statistics, Dan. We've only lost 2 games this season in which Richarlison has started. Mm-hmm. That is a fact. No one can argue it. So I love you, Scotty M. I love you, mate. But if you look at these are facts, but because they have happened. Every game we've only lost 2 games this season in which Richarlison has started. That's a fact. He's integral to the way we play football. He's integral because his pressing creates the space for those midfielders to drop into and to create. It's a fact that you can't argue with it. You cannot argue with it. So he has to start. I mean, there's only one way we should play football, but unfortunately, as much as I do actually quite like the manager, he's not going to change anything. So we can say we can do this, and this. He's not going to do any of them. He's going to revert to his cookie cutter system and what he likes all the time. Mm-hmm. But there's only really one way we should play football. Van der Ven should be a left back. He should be the left back because he's the only one with pace in that team.
But we need that in the middle, Ben. If we ain't got him in the middle, that whole thing falls.
Should be the centre back. Dragic should be in the right. And we should copy the system in which Jose Mourinho tried to push on Tottenham when he was the manager, which is we play as a 4, but we build as a 3. So Van der Ven remains as your left centre-back. The entire game, he's your left centre-back. We have Romero as the centre, Dragic as the right. Pedro Porro, do whatever the hell you want. Whatever you want. Go wherever you want. Get up down that pitch and say to Pedro Porro before the game, see that weak spot, which we've been talking about, that left back.
Him and Johnson could cause it nightmares.
Have Porro and Johnson on that left back and just say, go for him. Have him on toast. The entire game, just rinse that left-hand side. Force that left back to make mistakes.
Because that is their weakest point.
That is what he should do. Van der Ven plays as the left back. If he wants to, he could invert into that because, again, he's got the pace and he's got the ball carrying ability to be able to play that position. But when we're not on the ball, he drops into that left back position, that left centre back role, which he's been playing the entire season. No dramas. Romero remains in his position, which is the centre back, getting the ball, passing it into midfield. It's what he should do. This is very simple. If he plays Ben Davies on that left-hand side, we're getting rinsed. We're getting 4 put past us.
But if we put Van der Ven out of the middle, we're also going to get rinsed.
No, just to answer a question, that's what I'm saying, Dan. With him playing as that left centre-back, he would be there. Because he would be there the entire game. We'd build as a back 3. We'd basically, would be.
I get what you're saying.
Back in the same position, it just looked like a 3. So they would be very narrow and then just go for it. You could play Højbjerg in front of them to give that extra bit of stability in front of them. But that's the way we should play. Ben Davies is not cut out for this game. What's he, 32? 31, 32?
I know, but he's going to be there by the look of it and what people are saying. But just to answer a question quick, so what was it? Boxing said earlier that Højbjerg ain't got the legs for this. No, he hasn't. That is why I've said he stays as a DM and he does not cross that halfway line. He stays there as the backup 3. And I'll just go through it again quickly for you two so you can give us your opinion on that. Like I say, Vicario at the back, Van der Ven, Romero in the middle, Porro on the right, hopefully. Ben Davies, it looks like it's going to be on the left. Keep Højbjerg as that bloody DM, as the anchor man. He don't go past the halfway line. What he does is come back, make it free when it needs to be, and then just basically tries to be the rock in the middle. In front of him, for the 2 there, Bentancur playing box to box so he can get forward but come back and also cover the DM spot when Højbjerg has to sit deeper. Then stick Kulu in the middle. Why? Because he's got the muscle on him to do it. He's got the muscle not He's not a tackler, but he can definitely knock someone off the ball. He can definitely cause them trouble. Get him going forward into a number 10 position, but play back to goal. Use him as a target man. Because one thing he does do on the right-hand side every time is hold on to that ball, doesn't he? And it usually takes 2 to get him off when he's on form. So use him as our target man, basically. Johnson on the right calls their left back, whoever it is, because it's going to be their weakest spot, just running at him. Maddison on the left, totally open free roll, so he can pass it in, cross it in, drill it in, have a shot, whatever, and start with Richie in the middle, because you know he's going to piss off them 2 defenders. That's one thing he's good at. And if anyone can float a good ball in there, Maddison can do it to use Richarlison for his strongest point of heading the ball. Because I think if we stick Son up there, he's going to get sandwiched by them 2. The other option, I know there's many options you can use, but this is my option. And this is my idea. I know some are going to think the crazy bit is Maddison up there doing that and Kulusevski in the middle. But I want Kulusevski in the middle for his size, basically. And he is about the only player we've got.
We can talk about this until we're blue in the face.
He's the only player we've got.
What is Kulusevski's best position as a target man, extra quick guy at Juventus?
Exactly
that's his best position. He's not quick enough to be a right winger, and
he hasn't got the sprint.
He hasn't got that. He hasn't got what Sonny's got, which is make that 4 yards of space with that explosion.
Exactly.
He hasn't got that explosion, but what he does have is he's able to roll a player. So,
yep.
I mean, again, it goes back to if I was Ange Postecoglou, you play 3-5-2, you play Son and Kulusevski up top, and you don't even need a Richarlison.
Either way, but go with this formation I've said for the minute.
Kulusevski would hold on to the ball, Sonny would run in behind, Kulusevski would use his superior technical ability to put a ball behind them. Big up, Benjamin. But that's what you would do. But unfortunately, our manager, as much as I like him, is stubborn. He's a stubborn man. And I get why he's stubborn. He's done it in his jobs. Yes, lesser leagues, yada yada yada. We could roll off the script that we've been rolling off. This is the way he likes to play football. And the only way we need to see if he can implement his style in the Premier League. And the only way he can implement his style in the Premier League is being backed by the ownership. I'm not going to make this a leave in, leave out conversation because
don't even mention the name.
Watch hundreds and hundreds of streams of me doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So don't go there.
Yeah.
So I want to stick on this formation. I've said, yeah. So, Jose, if I've said your name right,
yeah, you have. Yeah.
Pronouncing names, mate.
No, you got it spot on. You got it spot on.
Well, I've got to do your one next as well, so you're going to have to help me on that as well. Eugene. There we go, mate. Right. Anyway, welcome to coming on. Thanks for coming on. Anyway, sorry that took so long. It's just I was already in the middle of things. Right. At the moment, I just want to stick to this idea I've had, and then we can put it into how crazy it might be, and then your own ideas onto it. With everything I've just said to you, take that apart, and what do you think of it?
Right. So sorry, because I missed the first part of the chat. So your defensive four. I know your defensive four are. Did you say Højbjerg's sitting as your DM?
Yeah, staying in there.
Okay.
I don't want him to go past the halfway line. I want him to stay there and come back as the number 3 when needs be, and stay there because he ain't got the legs to run around the pitch, but he's definitely got the aggression to take someone off the ball. He's got the bottle to do it, and he can really get on someone's nerves. Then I play Bentancur just in front of him as a box-to-box to go forward, but to also come back and cover that DM space like he can do when Højbjerg comes back. Kulusevski in the middle to just try and knock about the midfield, basically, and then to go into a number 10 position, use him as the target man for Bentancur to get the ball to him. So he holds on to the ball to either get it out wide to Maddison, who can cross, pass, shoot, all of them, or Johnson on the right to sprint at their left back, which is going to be their weakest position, to try and cross it in. Richie in the middle, and he pisses off anybody and use him to his best ability, and that is heading that ball in.
So you've got Madders left, Johnson right.
Yep.
Richie up top.
Yep.
Kulu's playing the 10. Okay, you got
Kulu starts in the middle next to Bentancur, basically, but charges up for the number 10
What you're doing,
space.
Dan, is you're playing an inverted 4-2-4. in an effect. That's what you're playing in an effect. You're playing an old school Italian system of playing 4-2-4, which I love because we can.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I mean, Ben, I could really just grill you here right now, yeah, because you've already just sort of like destroyed what I was going to say at the end of it.
All right.
No, you've sussed my idea completely.
Ben also watches Italian football.
Yeah, I know. It's just, sorry, I didn't mean that as blunt as I just said it. Yeah, I just said that. Sorry. Yeah, I know, but I didn't expect him to suss that out that quickly. But so, come on, Jose.
I think I've told everyone. I used to be friends with a man called, well, I'm still friends with him. I'm friends with a man called Mr. Antonio Giraldo, who was president of Juventus. And
okay.
So,
fair enough.
And his best mate is Fabio Capello. So, I would speak to Mr. Capello quite a lot about these things. So, yeah, I do know my Italian systems quite well.
Fair play to you. But sorry, I didn't mean to be so blunt with you, Jose. It's just my tone of voice.
It's all right. No,
anyway, mate.
Okay.
It was a bit blunt. But
cool.
So, with everything I've said to you there, and Ben's completely sussed it out, how do you think that could actually work? Could it work?
I actually think it could work, but what I will say as well is that the one thing, and I said this when I was on with Ben earlier on this morning, is what I found is that Maddison, with our inverting that we keep doing, Maddison's losing that space and keeps dropping deep for the ball. And I actually think but I actually think that it's a blessing in disguise, and it's not having a doggy tomorrow, because it means you're cutting out 50% of the inversion. So Porro will still invert. Davis ain't going to invert, which means that Madders will find 50% of the space that he can't find because of doggies being there. He'll find that space, and it's going to predominantly be on the left-hand side. Because without a doggy, the space is going to be on the left. So you're actually saying that you put Madders on the left anyway, ain't you?
Yeah, because he does it for England, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's where they always do it for England. And plus, he is our best passer of the ball. He can cross high and low. He can do a target ball straight through. He can also have a crack at the goal.
You can also, I mean, well, you could play Richarlison up top and move up Kulu and Madders as well, but I'm playing both as 10s off Richarlison. So with the system you got, you could tweak it in game. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
In game. So you're starting with the system that you said, Dan, but then what you do is you tweak it during the game to suit and to fit, and you can end up.
That's what I call adapting in a game.
Yeah, you can end up playing with two tens behind Richie, couldn't you?
Yeah. Because
the one thing tomorrow is I think that you're going to get. We're not going to have two at the back tomorrow. We'll have three, because Porro will invert. I don't think Davis will. And then if you've got that extra defensive cover, as you're suggesting, with what's his name, Højbjerg, it then means that defensively we will have enough numbers. I would have thought. It's just whether we've got the what can I say? Whether we've got the stamina to do the other part of the work. Because defensively, playing the system you're saying will be sound. We'll have four players defending, but it's whether we've got enough in the legs with the other players to pull the other part off for us.
Well, we've just had 2 weeks off.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And it's 2 weeks training, though, Dan. 2 weeks training, as opposed to playing a full-blown Premiership game. It'll be more taxing on the legs of the game than what it would be training for 2 weeks. So
I understand where you're going.
But then that's when your bench comes in, because I did say on the show earlier on this morning that tomorrow, what's going to be vitally important is the 16 players that we use tomorrow, and the crowd is vitally important. So yeah, it could work, and you could change your system with the players that you've got in them positions. You could tweak it a little bit as well. But yeah, if defensively, we'll be more sound.
Because with Kulusevski holding it there, which he can do, Maddison can run in behind him because I've got him on a free roll. He can even run in front of him if he wants to, and they swap over. And like you said, you've got two number 10s there now. And Kulusevski is better as a 10 all day long than a winger. Right, just going to catch up with a couple on the side. I can't keep up with everyone. Right, Daniel, and then I'll come to you, Eugene. Daniel, Son is the 4th highest scorer on North London derby history, and you want to drop him. Mate, he's the clutch in this game. I do understand that, yeah. But for the way it's played at the moment and the way Arsenal play, I feel for the first 45 minutes, 60 minutes even, Richarlison could give him more hassle, and we could use Maddison to more of his ability of being able to get in the air. Because otherwise the other two are just going to sandwich him because he'll get left up there on his own. And if you bring him on at 60 minutes, he's going to give him nightmares because the man can run. We know he's got a sprint on him and he can have a shot as well. And also with that, if needs be, you can move Kulusevski over, you can bring Maddison round, whatever, you can bring Werner on through ever and charge more pace at him. I know Werner ain't exactly a goal scorer, but it gives us options to give them trouble. So let me just go through a couple more of these. Elias Scott, would you rather have Richie or Werner on the start, or would you want Kulu and Johnson? Let me just jump a couple of these. Rudy 2, Son can come off the bench and score a hattie. If we've worn them down enough with Richarlison running at him, Johnson going at him, Maddison crossing the balls in and that, Son can come on and cause nightmares. That's why I'm saying leave him off at the start. So go on then, Eugene. What do you think of that then, mate?
I mean, regarding to what you are saying, right? There is a good idea there, but we all do know that Ange will not do what we want him to do. He'll still stick to what he does, to the high line and blah, blah, blah. Right? So at this point, this moment, he did come out and says that he knows the importance of this match, but then there's another part of him saying, right, it's not about not letting Arsenal win the league and all that, blah, blah, blah again. But as you said, to put Decky, my fear in that midfield is that we're not strong enough, right? When they have Declan Rice and, you know, who else do they have there in the midfield? Declan Rice,
Jorginho,
Odegaard. And these three guys, right, will smash our midfield, you know, and I see that's my fear, right? If you put Højbjerg there, Højbjerg will be strong, right? But he can't defend it well. That's my fear. He doesn't have the speed to cover. And for me,
but that's why he's a defensive midfielder and he stays in his position. And that's why I've got Kulusevski there for that bit of muscle in the middle that you could need as well.
Yes, but the thing
not
is that
tackle.
Yeah, but I mean to hold that line. You can say I understand what you're saying. To hold that defensive line, to stop their midfield for being productive and all that. But do we actually have that? Like what Jose is saying, right? Do we have the stamina? Do we have the intelligence? Do we have the strength to actually go up against their midfield? That's my fear, right? But as you know, Ange will never do that. The way I see it now, our lineup most probably will end up more or less the same old. But the only tweak I would like to change is that I would like Son to play on the left, right, and have Richarlison in the middle, and either you have Decky or Johnson, right, on the right. And at least, like what you've been saying, we at least if you cross the ball up high in, at least we have a chance with Richarlison heading the ball or, you know, holding the ball up and doing something with it. But I would rather see my midfield. I think I've been saying this, maybe we'll need a Sa, right? Someone who will have the strength and the stamina, hopefully. Sa to be there.
You can start Sa instead of Bentancur and play him as the box-to-box.
Yeah, Sa, Højbjerg, and to tell the truth, right? I'd rather take Sa, Højbjerg, and maybe Bentancur, right? These players look stronger to me at this point in time. With Maddison, is that, oh God, Maddison's form has been so bad at this moment.
But he needs some space, doesn't he? He doesn't get no space at the moment. That's why.
The point. Yeah, we've been sussed out. You can say now. We've been sussed out at this moment in time, right? If you put Maddison in there, he won't get his space to do his magic, right? And at this moment in time, Maddison, we see he keeps dropping back, right, to try to collect the ball and pass it forward, which
that is why I've put him out on the far left, because it gives him more space. And the quick thing here, I haven't actually changed Ange's formation.
Yeah, I
I've
know.
just told him to stick with a DN.
Mhm. Yeah. But the thing is that, are you going to play Madison on the left, Richie in the center, right?
Yes.
And right, who will be on the right?
Johnson to run at
Right.
whoever's on the left, because that's their weakest point, and whoever plays on the left for them loves to get forward, and we all know Johnson's quick. He can get in behind them.
Yeah, that is what we've been trying to look at what Ange can do with the players we have and all that. But at this moment in time, we all here, right? And good afternoon to all you guys. Right? I hope you're all well, right? Where I'm sure you all in the UK, right? I don't see anything changing apart from the Davis part, right? And then we'll still stick with our Madison, Bissouma, and Sarr, or maybe Bentancur. That will be our lineup for midfield. Our back four has picked itself, right? With Porro, Romero, BDV, and with Ben Davies, you've got no choice because Udogie is out. And forward line will still be the same old. I think we'll still be Werner, Son, and Johnson. That's it. Yeah.
I get it. The other thing we can even do with this is take Kulu off, then put Maddison in there and move Son over to the left.
Yeah, that could be the thing. Yeah, because
the one thing that needs to happen. Sorry, Eugene. The one thing that needs to happen is they've got to target that left back. The one thing they've got to do, whatever the personnel is, you can have Harry the mailman in. The one thing you've got to do is target that. There's one of the reasons that Timo Werner might actually be a good option if you played him on the right-hand side, because what Timo Werner likes to do, it's very difficult to explain this to people that watch on the TV screen. And if you look at the formation of the team, they all look quite close to each other, except for Timo Werner, who's really out of the way to try and drag the team over. If you did that to Arsenal, but on their left back side, that might actually be a good thing, because that would force their left back into that left back position. He's not a defender. So I hate Timo. For me, Timo Werner is a placeholder for a better player.
Who's playing on the left side?
For me, it's Sonny. Sonny has to play because
not our left side. Who's their left back?
It's either Kfir or it's Zinchenko. It's one of the two.
If Zinchenko starts, he's going to be up the other end of the pitch the whole time.
When Arsenal get the ball, Arsenal play with four people in midfield, because Zinchenko inverts into that set because he's naturally a centre midfielder. Therefore, they play with four in the middle. So you've got to do two things. You've got to do what Bayern Munich did against Arsenal. First thing they did, Kimmich took out Odegaard. First thing that happened in the game. Strong.
And Højbjerg is capable of doing that.
Straight thing. The moment Odegaard gets the ball, take him out. Take him out.
Like they always do with us with Maddison.
Exactly. Take him out.
And Højbjerg can do that.
If you do that to Odegaard, he's quiet as a mouse the rest of the game. You've got to give him a whack, in the words of those old gangster movies behind him. First thing you do, give him the reducer.
They always do it to us.
Same thing with Saka. Give him a whack, he'll be limping for the rest of the game.
So Saka will be up against Ben Davies, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah. That's
why I said play Van der Ven at left back. Play an inverted back. Play Van der Ven at left back. Romero as the centre. Dragishin as the right centre back. Play Van der Ven as a third centre back. If Saka gets the ball, he's not outpacing Van der Ven. He's not outpacing Van der Ven.
If you put Van der Ven in the left back, right, and he goes back into inverted style, right, wouldn't that create another?
That leaves us open in the middle too much. Van der Ven has got to stay in the middle.
Yeah.
He's got to stay in the middle.
Yeah.
I think Van der Ven has played left back for Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
He's a player in that team.
Yeah, that's where he plays for the Dutch team. Yeah, that's where he played for the under-21s most of the time.
Put Saka against
Maddison,
he's quieting him down.
The reason I put Maddison out on the left,
Trossard if he plays, or if it's Martinelli if he plays, it's the only player you got to worry about because Porro likes to invert, and that gives loads of space on that right hand side. But the most important thing is keeping solid and take out Odegaard. Take him out because I like Jorginho. I like Jorginho as a player, but he cannot influence the game from that far down the pitch. It's not what he likes to do. He likes to get the ball and do what Bentancur like to do, passing the ball short, 1-2 touches, see if a space opens, into Ødegaard, there's the space.
But Ben, if Ange does adapt and change a bit, right, we will see something different. But my fear is that he won't, right? And he will play with that inverted two fullbacks, and Davies will go inverted, and that will leave a big space behind. And VDV will have to do all the covering because we don't have Udogi there, the speed to cover him. So that's my big fear too. So in the end of the day, right, as I see it, right, I'm sure Arteta will have more or less figured out how to play us, right? Most of all the Premier League teams have figured out how to play us. They will just do that ball over the top and somebody will run into it, and then we won't have players running back. And when our players run back, right, they all run back like headless chickens, right? Covering zones instead of covering players. And that will leave a lot of space for them to exploit.
That is why I want Højbjerg to stay back and be a DM. I want him to stay back and stay there as an anchor man, not run everywhere or everything else and that. Just be your anchor man. Stay there.
But okay, my question next then is that will Højbjerg have the speed to cover the wings?
He's not going to need the speed. If he's staying as a DM, he's not going to need the speed to get over the pitch because he's only going to have a job to come back from the box, not even up to the halfway line. Just cover that area there, that block. Basically. I know,
but what I'm saying now, that means that Ange will have to change his style of play, his tactics, right? To let Højbjerg be that kind of a...
the only thing Ange is going to have to do, he tries doing it with Basuma all the time. He plays Basuma as the DM to cover that space, but then he also wants Basuma to get up the other end of the pitch as well. Basuma is not a DM.
But
Højbjerg is our best player in this team of turning over the ball and progressive passing of the ball. People like to think that Højbjerg passes the ball sideways and backwards. It's actually the opposite. If you look at statistics, Højbjerg is our most progressive passer of the ball. He was last year, and he's one of them this year. Whenever he gets a chance,
he likes to get the ball and get rid of it.
He likes to get the ball, turn over the ball, and move it quickly. That's what he likes to do.
Yeah, but accuracy.
So that's why I can see where Dan's coming from. Turn over the ball, put the ball into the channel.
But what about accuracy, right? If you can get it accurate, do your passes accurate moving forward, that's a good thing. But if you don't, right, and you lose the ball, mispass it, right, and we will get into trouble again. That is the biggest fear that I have. And we keep losing the ball in midfield. And after that, when we lose the ball in midfield, we get overrun. You see? That's how I see it.
Well,
we get overrun.
With the way we play anyway, that happens anyway. This is why I'm saying Højbjerg. This is where Ange has got to adapt.
Højbjerg has to anchor that midfield, correct?
Yes.
He has to anchor that midfield and destroy whatever Arsenal throw at us from their midfield to their attack. That's what we want Højbjerg to do. I mean, that's what we hope Højbjerg do, right?
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about where Ange has to adapt to certain games. He can't just play his way in every game. He can use his system, yeah, but there's certain things a manager has to adapt for each game he plays because you're going to get a different threat from a different team where they've got a serious threat. It might be a left wing, it might be their strikers double quick, it might be that their right back loves getting into the middle and crossing the ball right in like Liverpool do with Trent Alexander-Arnold. You've got to spot out those certain points. You can't just play one way and one way only like he has been doing because you will get destroyed sooner or later for it because people suss it out. And also because you've got to mark out certain parts. Every game is different. You can have your whole system, but you've got to adapt to the games. I mean, Jose, what do you reckon?
Right, I'm looking at the game that we played earlier on this season because we're talking about this season, right?
Yeah.
The 2-2 draw. Tottenham's lineup that day was they had the apart from a doggy's out now, but they had a doggy playing at the back. The midfield was Bissouma, Sarr, Maddison, and up front we played. It was Johnson's first game. He played on the left, didn't he, Johnson? Kulu on the right, Sonny up front. Sonny scored twice. Arsenal got their 2 goals through a own goal and a penalty. Arsenal's team, they had their back four was White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko. Their midfield was Odegaard, Rice, Vieira. Well, now they've got Jorginho there instead. And up front, they had Saka, Nketiah, Jesus. They've got a couple of players that have changed there now. And then looking at the game, because this is, again, it was a North London derby, albeit that we played away, right? And this is what I keep saying about form going out the window. We both had 13 shots on target, Tottenham and Arsenal. But they had 6 on target, we had 5. We had 54% possession at the Emirates. We completed 449 passes to their 377. Tomorrow we're at home. That's away, and tomorrow we're at home. So for me, I think the lineup, although we're talking and debating on what we think the lineups are going to be, I think the lineups will probably be, apart from the enforced injuries, which is a doggy for us, I think the lineup is probably going to be more or less similar to what started the game at the Emirates. I've got a feeling, and my feeling is he starts with the back four that you guys have all mentioned. I've got a feeling that in midfield he will start with Bentancur, Sarr, and Maddison, and I think you'll go for the front three that did so well in the first 10 games of the season. I think you'll revert back to Son, Richarlison, Kulu. It's what I think he may do tomorrow. And then once you've had the shithousery that you call from Richarlison buffeting their defenders and Kulu buffeting the left back, and whatever combative we've got in midfield, whether it's Bentancur and Sarr going up against Jorginho and Rice, then what you've got is you've got your bench to come and finish your game off, where you've got your 2 speed merchants to bring them on up front, and then in midfield you then got the option of bringing a Højbjerg in to midfield, Bissouma into midfield if you're not starting with him. There are different permutations, and that's why I say tomorrow, the fact that we're sitting here saying that we can pick different permutations, means that we're going to rely on 16 players tomorrow.
Yeah, we have to. But Jose, to tell the truth, right? The first 10 games we played, right? Our form was totally different from now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the other part that I fear, is that the mental part of our players coming back from the injuries, the suspensions, and all that, right? Are we mentally up for it? I remember I was watching one show where on Tottenham away, you were there, right, Dan, right? Stell did something very, 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 very that struck my mind. Has our players actually lost faith in Ange's system? Because the way we see them play, right, is that we see Son in the middle, and let's say whenever Son is in the middle, right, he's got 3 players, blocking his movement. He can't do anything, and Son is like, I think Son is feeling that he doesn't feel comfortable playing in the middle, but he has to play in the middle, right, where he is the focal point. Because at least now, if Richarlison is back, maybe we can revert Son back to the left, put Richarlison back in the middle, right? And on the right, I don't care whether it's Decky or Johnson, right? If Decky comes on, we hope that Decky can do something for Richarlison, right? And using Werner and Johnson as the impact subs, right, with their speed, when the game has gone on to the 60th minute or 70th minute, because we are supposed to be fresher, because we have 2 weeks rest, while Arsenal has been playing a lot of games throughout this whole, April period, right? After all they've gone through. And maybe that will give us some impact. But my fear is that if that game is over in the first half where we get smashed 3-4-0, right? And, and when the stadium, and to tell you, I'm sure, Ben, you're going to be there tomorrow, right?
No, I'm not going tomorrow.
Ben.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Dan. Sorry.
Ben.
No, Ben.
I'm going tomorrow.
Yeah, Ben is going to be there. And the most important thing is, it's the stadium atmosphere, right? I remember the year when we beat them 3-0 on our ground, even though they lost 1 player, right? The atmosphere, not only in the stadium, right? On the high street, right? It's like with Conte in charge, we're going to smash you, right? We're going to take it away from you, right? And that instilled fear into the players, right? Even before their teams could come out, right, into the stadium to do their warm-ups and all that, the whole Spurs fan base was like, jumping on their back, cussing them and all that, making them feel uncomfortable being in the stadium. If we can get that atmosphere there, then we will have that 12th man to actually support our squad. But if we go down early, 2-3 goals, right, and our Spurs fans in the stadiums, whenever we do reach that kind of stage, atmosphere goes down and it became over, right? That's what I feel.
But that's why I'm saying use Højbjerg as nothing more than an anchor man. Get that ball, get rid of it. I don't care if he kicks it out the pitch. I don't care if he, whatever he does, just get the ball, get rid of it. If we can just give these hassle, that's all right, mate. If we can give these hassle and at least even keep it at a 0-0 for up to 60 minutes, they're going to start sweating because the pressure is more on them than us. Yeah, we've got pressure as well, but the pressure is tenfold more on them.
There's no pressure on us tomorrow, Dan. There's no pressure on us at all.
It's a London derby, of course there is, yeah, but nothing compared to the
only
extra.
Pressure on ourselves is the only pressure is for me to go to Chip King at 11:30 in the morning, then go to a pub. That's the only pressure. It's getting there on time. We're not getting any of those pubs.
But they've got a lot more crap on their shoulders than we have in that aspect, yeah? They've got so much more to lose. We haven't really got nothing to lose except dignity. And that is about it. They have got a lot to lose, and this is the last place they want to lose it.
It's a brand new project versus a 5-year project. It's a brand new project. It doesn't matter tomorrow. I know it sounds like really, really from a Tottenham fan. It doesn't matter tomorrow because
Ben, apart from pride, right? The pride of
exactly.
Apart
from your dignity, that's all there is to it.
You're a Spurs fan, right? We've lost our pride long time ago.
Yeah, but this game still means something.
What we do is go up and express ourselves, do the best we can. If we win, fantastic. It's a brilliant thing. You stop Arsenal winning the league, yada, yada, yada. Losing and failure is a great teacher. And we are playing against one of the best teams in the country tomorrow. So use this experience, see what they've got, and see what we can learn from it. That we've got nothing to lose tomorrow. And that is a dangerous thing for Arsenal. As much as I do not think we're going to...
Yeah, no, it's true.
There is nothing for us to lose tomorrow. Nothing to lose. Let's have a laugh. Let's go at them. Let's have a party atmosphere. There's nothing to lose. Let's have a few beers. And let's have a good time. Let's have a good time. And let's see what can happen. This is a new system under a new manager with basically a brand new team with a lot of new players in. We've got injuries. We've had a very difficult season. Let's make it difficult for them. Let's make it difficult for them, because if we can only laugh, if you don't laugh,
I'm saying. The longer we can hold them back from scoring a goal, yeah, the more they're going to start getting nervous.
If it's 0-0, which it probably won't be, if it's 60 minutes, they are going to start overcommitting. They will start overcommitting forward, and that's when it hurt them.
Yeah. No, the thing is that what you say, Ben, is correct, right? We have to go out, right, to smash them first. You get what I'm saying? To show them that you have to be fearful of us, right? We're gonna smash you, right? Like what we did with during the Aston Villa game, right?
We haven't got the capability of doing that. No, we have not got the capability of doing that. We have not.
You remember what VDV did to Ollie Watkins, right, in the Aston Villa game, right? Within the first 3 minutes, he ran straight and smacked him. He smacked him 2 or 3 times. He didn't dare to be on his side.
No, sorry, I misunderstood what you meant. Oh
yeah, smack them first. Give the
I get it.
Yeah, now you get it now, right? We have to go there and show aggression.
People like me and Phil P. You need to get us shouting. And how do you get people shouting in that stadium? Reducer. First minute of the game, reducer. Yeah. I know you've got Michael Oliver. Michael Oliver is going to be Michael Oliver is going to be an absolutely integral part of this game, because he in the Chelsea game, he shat himself. He shat himself and sent 2 players off. We cannot give Michael Oliver a reason. So go in hard, but go in fairly. That's all we need to do.
And that's what we're going to learn.
Michael Oliver will look at that performance earlier in the season, and he probably won't. Michael Oliver is one of the worst. He was actually, with Ryan said this earlier, before VAR, he was one of the best referees in the world. As soon as VAR,
I was listening this morning. It's true.
Yeah, he was one of the best referees in the world, and VAR has hindered him, because what does Michael Oliver like to do? He actually likes the game to flow, but VAR doesn't like the game to flow. It's one big up Sweden for getting rid of VAR. We need to go in, reducer, first minute of the game, take him out. You get
pick
the
out all
crowd
the
up,
players. Yeah,
you get
take
that
them out.
crowd loud, and that's what Tottenham fans want.
That's true. That's true. Right.
It's
But
it's basically what I'm saying to you from the start. With Højbjerg handling the middle and straight away take Odegaard out. Go in with that tackle for him that's going to give him the shakes, basically, like they always do with Maddison for us. Like, not just them, but basically every team. Give them a bit of force, like what you're saying, Eugene, basically. I mean, I misunderstood what you said earlier. But yeah, go out and do them good and proper, basically. Give them a bit, rough them up a bit.
Get
go on, Jose,
those
what's
sparkle
your thing on
things
all
and
this?
throw it in the dressing room, for God's sake. Before open the door and throw a sparkler in the dressing room. Whatever you need to do to rough them up. Home field advantage is what you've got to do. We've got to find a way. We've got to find a way of doing it. And it's a derby. If form does go out the window, as much as it is a cliche, form does go out the window. But we've got to unsettle them. We cannot let them get into a rhythm, because if they do what they want to do, it'll be a problem for us. So we just got to unsettle them a bit.
That's true.
And that is where I think we can actually do it.
Definitely
Because
throw
they're
a
gonna-
sparkler in their dressing room. Open the door, sparkler in. There we go.
The Arsenal fans ain't looking forward to tomorrow.
No,
They're not looking forward to tomorrow. They're absolutely crapping themselves for tomorrow.
because
Sorry, they're crapping themselves for tomorrow. I think it'll be playing on the players' minds as well. Look, we're not Sheffield United on a Wednesday night. We're not Chelsea in disguise, because when I saw the lineup for Chelsea that night, I knew they were going to get smashed. When I saw the lineup,
I didn't think it was going to be 5-0 though.
Oh well, because I do a predictions thing. I had Chelsea
3-0 is what I thought.
I had Chelsea to win, and then when I saw the lineup, I thought to myself, I've gone wrong here. I need to change my predictions. Smart. I thought about 3-0 myself when I saw the lineups, but we ain't Chelsea in disguise. You know, we're not Sheffield United on a Wednesday night either. It's the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's the biggest game, or the biggest derby for us, and it's the biggest derby for them. And you know, at the end of the day, I know we keep saying the form does go out the window and whatever, but they ain't looking forward. I mean, when we played them earlier on in the season, my Arsenal mates who go to Arsenal all the time, they came back and said, don't let us play against that kind of Tottenham team again. We don't want someone coming to our patch and having all the possession and stuff like that. And we're at home tomorrow, and I've got a feeling that that's going to happen tomorrow again. I think that Arsenal will surrender.
Fans aren't confident.
They're not confident.
Yeah,
I think Arsenal will surrender possession to us.
Surprise! I was at the pub last night. I was drinking with an Arsenal fan. We had a good conversation about it, and a lot of Arsenal fans are not looking forward to it, because there is a lot of yappy Arsenal fans that take up the majority of the airwaves, that are making themselves look very silly, and they're very overconfident, and
Like they have done for the past 3 years.
And we saw it with Bayern Munich. They thought they were going to slap Bayern Munich up, and they should have slapped Bayern Munich up, because they had an entire game where there was no Bayern Munich fans, and they thought they were going to slap them up. It didn't happen, and they lost to Eric Dyer of all people. They made Eric Dyer look like.
Wait,
World Cup
no, Ben, stop it there, mate. Stop it there. I'm going to defend the man here, yeah, blatantly, and I don't rate him. Arsenal did not make Eric Dyer look good. Eric Dyer made himself look good. He had a banging game that day. He took them out with some excellent tackles. He played brilliant. He had an excellent game.
I got a question there, right? How many away Arsenal fans do you think will be in the stadium tomorrow? 5,000? 3,000? Is it around that we allocate away spots?
Honestly,
one's too many.
Yeah,
one's too many.
No, because if the home fans, right, subdue the away fans, right, with our team playing the way that we want them to play, right, then we will get that mental edge over them, right? But if we don't do that, right, and imagine if that 3,000 to 5,000 fans are louder than our own home fans, and that is going to be a very, very bad indicator for our squad, you know. But at this moment in time, like all of us say this, right? Form goes out the window. It's a North London derby. It's actually the biggest game in London, right? At this moment in time, okay? Because Arsenal has got everything to lose. Even if they come and draw with us, they will
Yep.
lose ground. Right? They have that in their mind. For the Arsenal team now, Arteta is telling them that they have to win. Right? We don't have to win. Right? Because to tell the truth, right? Ange says, it's top four. We ain't going for the top four, right? And a lot of us fans are saying Champions League is a league too far for us. We'd rather be in Europa League. So let's go out there, right? But we do know one thing. We don't play a low block. We don't defend well, right? And we play with a high line, right? But
our problem with defensive, we play zonal marking. We need to man mark.
And we zonal mark, right? And whenever there's an attack on, we run into space, right? And guard the space instead of running towards the person and guard the person with the ball and running towards the people who are free, right? And guarding those people. So that is our defensive naivety. Number one. Number two,
Ryan Mason.
Ryan Mason is attacking.
Just sack him anyway. Sack him anyway. Sack him. Sack Mason.
Ben, we can't sack him, right? Because he's primed to take over Ange when Ange gets sacked.
You see this comment here, yeah? It's who we are, mate. Home advantage means nothing. Bollocks. Home advantage can mean everything.
I know this is a troll account because they've got a black screen, but I'm going to buy it anyway. This person has never seen a home game. One of the greatest games I ever saw was when prime Barcelona went to AC Milan, and every time a Barcelona player got the ball, the San Siro booed them. They booed them the entire game, and AC Milan won 1-0. Home advantage means quite a lot, especially in
that San Siro is not a nice place to go.
No,
not to play against them. It is a horrible
it's not even
place.
nice going on the train, Dan. I was on the train with a couple of yappy Spurs fans, and they were drinking too much, and people started pulling up balaclavas. We're going to whack you, mate. It's not a nice place to be.
No, you think England's bad, mate? You go over to Italy or go over to Turkey or something and go to a Galatasaray Fenerbahce game.
Italian. Luckily for me, I can pretend I'm Italian. But yeah,
home advantage does play into it, right? That's why whenever you say if the home crowd, right, supports the team with the fullest, right, you have a 12th man there. That's the home advantage that we get, right? But the thing is that will we lose the 12th man and become 10 men if we don't perform well enough? That's what I fear in this game that we are looking at, right? I do believe home advantage we will have a home advantage, because if the fans are loud and proud and strong, and like what Ben and Dan and you guys have been saying, right? Show the fear into them, right? And that's our advantage. But if we don't, right, like I said, I don't want 3,000 to 5,000 fans being louder than our 50 over 1,000 fans.
Even with the stadium design to quiet down the away fans, which is, but it is what it is. There's nothing to lose. There is nothing to lose. There's no reason to be nervous. All we've got to do is turn up like Phil P style, scream and shout, have a few drinks, have a good time, get your dinner in, have a party. There is nothing to lose. They've got everything to play for. And we've seen over the years, when they have so much to play for, they crumble. Arsenal
They have done for the past 3 years.
When all the pressure is on them, they crumble. So there's nothing to lose. Let's have fun. Win, lose or draw. Let's have fun. Let's have a good time. And let's see what happens. It's why Danny Blanchard was asked, what do you think the score of the game will be? Well, that's why we play the game of football, to find out who will win. Let's just have a good time.
So one thing that I think all of us have agreed on is that what we have to do tomorrow is use a bit of brute force.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to.
Because if it comes to skill, they outdo us all day long.
When it comes to skill,
when it comes to a tight team, we need to basically go and do to them what Bolton used to do to them.
Yeah. Big up Kevin Davis. Big up Jussi Jääskeläinen in goal.
I used to love it when Bolton used to play them, because they used to dread it. And with that aspect, hang on.
Stoke City were the kings of it.
That's the other one. Stoke. They used to terrorise them.
When Rory Delap got a long throw anywhere near the box, it was pandemonium. He would chuck a ball in the box and they would score a goal. It was pandemonium. So what has got to happen tomorrow?
Yeah, but we don't do long throws, right? That's the thing.
Bring back long throws. Bring back Rory Delap.
Yeah. Big up Robbie.
So the more I've thought about this, and I've definitely been one of the more negative ones. I don't deny it, yeah. But I suppose I'm looking more at form at the moment, and if it's going to go anything like that, either way, if we're not careful tomorrow, we can get our asses kicked good and proper. If we let that go in the first 10 minutes, we're up shit street. Yeah. No two ways about it, yeah. But if we can outmuscle these, and even if we have to play bloody dirty, go and do it. I don't care how they bloody do it, yeah. You ain't got to take no one's legs off, but you can definitely bruise them up and knock them out of the place. If we can muscle them up for 60 minutes without conceding, or at least keep it at something like a 1-1, or even if they're 1-0 up at 60 minutes, they're still going to be sweating. They're still going to be nervous.
Yeah.
And that is when you make mistakes.
Yep. Like they are going to be desperate to score in the first 10 minutes of a game. They're desperate. They're gonna overcommit, which is why I would play a player like Son Heung-Min who can make that bit of space and score a goal. We found it out when they were so overconfident when we played them. Like how many of these Arsenal fans on the internet, 6-0 Arsenal, 4-0 Arsenal, 7-0 Arsenal, this, that, all said if you get a draw, this, that, and the other. Let them be overconfident. Let them be overconfident.
I don't think they're going to be that. The fans may be, but honestly, I don't think the players are going to be that stupid tomorrow to come in too confident because of what happened with them with Munich and what happened with them with Villa.
A very arrogant man as their manager.
Yes, but it doesn't mean the players are that much dickheads, though.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be too overconfident.
There's a reason that Spectrum beat the Mr. Ons. Because they had an arrogant bloke in Captain Black. And we can be Spectrum against the Mr. Ons. If you know that reference, you know that reference. Captain Black, we're going to beat him.
So I'm going to have to cut this short and sweet because I've had guests arrive sort of out of nowhere and phone calls left, right and centre. It always seems to happen when you're doing nothing and you do something like this and then your phone don't stop and everything. So what I'm going to ask, I'll start with you, Jose. Tomorrow, what's going to happen and what's going to be the score?
Tomorrow is going to be Tomorrow, I think we're going to have the possession. Tomorrow, I think the crowd's going to be on it 100 because, like Eugene said, and I said earlier on this morning, the 3-0 victory against them 2 years ago is the loudest I've ever heard the stadium in the new stadium. It's the loudest I've ever heard. Before
you could hear it from the TV. From the TV, you could hear how loud.
You could hear how
that's going some.
So
decibel levels higher than a rock concert. If a rock concert was that loud, they would have shut it down. It was 140 decibels, I believe it was that day.
So if you go, and we got the crowd tomorrow, right? I think we're gonna have all the possession again. I think we'll have the lion's share of the possession. We'll get the crowd right behind us in that. If we run in with the team. Like the battering rams in the first half or the first 60 minutes, and then we go to speed merchants after. I'm going to come away with, and I'm going to predict the Tottenham victory, and I am going to predict 2-0.
You said 3-2 earlier, Jose.
No, I said on the content creators that I did for the Irish Hotspur, I said we'll win by a goal, but I didn't give a scoreline. And then by the time I did my predictions on my channel yesterday, I'd gone for 2-0.
Now, you know what? Okay, fair enough. But I'm going to pick up on something the football and boxing has said. And you're always a regular on here, mate. It's much appreciated. And I also do like a lot of the stuff you put on here. You do say it how it is and how you see it. And if people don't like it, they just have to deal with it. He's 100% right on what he said. Because so far, we're going to learn in this game what our manager is about. And next season is obviously where we see proper what he's about. But at the moment, you do still have that question, is he that naive or is he just that bloody arrogant or ignorant? Because if you're going to say Arteta's arrogant, ignorant, for the way our manager has acted so far, you can say he's just as bad.
Yeah, you could. You could.
So I think that's a very fair
The
comment.
difference with a manager that's been there 5 years and the difference between a manager that's only just got his feet under the table.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I just say to it, it's who
Go
you
for it,
are.
mate.
It's who you are. It said more possession than Arsenal. Have you been watching them play? Right. I gave facts. I gave you the stats earlier of when we played them at their ground. And we had 56 to their 44 possession. We had more passes than them. So I've given you facts. So yeah, I've seen Arsenal play, but then I've also seen Tottenham play. And if you look at Tottenham play, whether we've played well, bad, indifferent, 95% of the games, we have the lion's share of the possession. So, yeah, I'm quite sensible enough to say that tomorrow we'll have the possession again.
It's possible.
It's why you play the game of football, to find out.
So go on then, Eugene. What's going to happen tomorrow and what's going to be the score?
Oh, to tell the truth, right? What's going to happen tomorrow is it'll be the same old, same old. We'll play the same high line. We'll still play the horseshoe, full possession, 70% possession football. Can't score, can't pass the ball, can't be creative. That's my biggest fear. And to tell the truth, if by hook or by crook we get a draw, I'll be very happy. If we win, right, I'll be surprised. But deep down inside, I don't know why. I was looking at Scott M's prediction there, right? I got a funny feeling we're going to get smashed 6-0 tomorrow by Arsenal.
Okay, fair enough.
I got this fear back in my mind, right? Shit, man. With the high line that we have, and now with Ben Davies, right, on our left, and inverting back, right?
You know
dear,
what?
Saka is free.
You're saying it sounds like people are being too negative at times, but you can't really blame us for some of the stunts that we've been pulling at the moment. And again, football and boxing, what you've said there, I'm with you, mate. As long as we turn up and we give it, and that manager looks like he's got ideas, you know what? Go do us 2-0, 2-1, whatever. As long as they give everything, right? So last one to you, then Ben.
As long as you put up a fight, right, and don't
roll
over like what?
I like it. Spurs win 2-2. I like it.
Spurs win 2-2. Yeah, we won in life.
It would feel like a win, wouldn't it? So come on, then, Ben. What's going to happen tomorrow? What's your opinion?
I'm agreeing with Phil P. I think we're going to draw 2-2. I think 2-2 would be. I'd rip your hand off for a draw right now. Draw against Arsenal. When Man City turn up next week, don't play with a goalkeeper. Play 10 up front and just say, "There's the goal. Man City score as many as you want. Win 15-0 if you have to. Get rid of their goal difference, and let's have a laugh."
Yeah, but you know what? Knowing Spurs, just the way it works, we're going to do Arsenal, and then we're going to do Man City.
Yeah,
that just be,
guys,
that's Spurs all over, isn't it?
We're going to do Liverpool too, right? Have you watched Liverpool play recently? Oh my
Liverpool
God.
is our best chance of points at the moment, I think. But anyway, that's diverting. Ben, so what have you said your score's going to be? 3
times in 108 years. We're not beating Anfield.
2-2 Ben went for.
2-2. Right. I'll give my last one on this. I'm going to do a big turn on myself here, yeah? Because the more and more I think about this, if I'm just going to go by form and the way we've played and the way they've played and whatever, a 4-0 would not surprise me. But if we can muscle these pricks out until at least half time, start making them sweat, start making them mistakes, you know what? I reckon we can squeeze this 2-1. I'm starting to honestly think it. It's going back on a lot of what I've said. I know that. But that's what thinking does.
Football fans are allowed to be flip-flops. That is the emotion of football. Football is not an exact science.
Yeah, well, thinking at times can hurt. No two ways about it. And at the moment, it is doing me serious damage thinking about this match.
Yeah.
You know what? Bollocks to it. 2-1 Spurs. Come on. So, last thing I'm going to say, Jose, Eugene, Ben, thanks for coming on. Pleasure to have you on. Always welcome. Everyone on the chat, thanks for joining us with a matter of 15 minutes warning that I was going to go on, as usual. And as all I can say to this tomorrow, as long as we don't turn up like this, I'll be happy. And you know what? Let's sort these pricks out and totally screw their season right up. So come on, everyone. Come on.